Hey, gorgeous. Welcome to another episode of the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L.E Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Kela Smith, a holistic integrative doctor specializing in fertility and hormone health, and also the founder and lead educator of the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L Society's Educational Institute for Coaches. Today's episode is a very special treat for all of the coaches and those aspiring to be in this field. And honestly, this is for anyone in the wellness space. We're zooming in on the business aspects of coaching, crucial for both seasoned and budding fertility coaches. And here's something exciting. Every last episode of the month, we'll focus on these topics, packed with invaluable insights and practical tips. We'll help you to build, grow, and scale a successful fertility coaching business. So let's unlock the secrets to a thriving fertility coach. You definitely do not want to miss this. Hi, welcome to the show. It's Dr. Kela Smith. This is our last show of the month, which is dedicated to you, those practitioners who are looking to start, build, grow, or scale a coaching practice focused on fertility, hormones, and or pregnancy. Thank you so much for being here. Today's show is super exciting because we're talking about a topic that I get a lot of questions around, so I'm excited to dive into this. We are talking about expanding your fertility coaching business internationally. Whether you're just starting out or you're looking to broaden your horizons, then this episode is for you. And first, I want to start with helping you understand the global fertility landscape. What is the global landscape of fertility issues? We'll discuss a few different culture attitudes towards fertility, the prevalence of fertility concerns in various regions, and how digital platforms are making international expansion more feasible than ever, making it easier than ever to expand your practice internationally, and one of the most needed things in healthcare. So let's talk about cultural differences in fertility treatments. So variations in traditional versus modern approaches. I really want to explore how different cultures approach fertility treatments and look at things ranging from traditional herbal remedies and practices to modern medical interventions. In Western cultures, predominantly modern medicine interventions in countries like the United States, Canada, and sometimes even in Western Europe, fertility treatment is heavily reliant on advanced medical technology. This includes IVF, hormone therapy, and assisted reproductive technologies such as IUI. Integrative approaches, there is a growing trend towards integrative approaches and holistic practices like acupuncture and yoga, meditation therapy, dietary changes, along with conventional treatments is becoming more popular. And this is what we do here at the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L Society, and it's what we teach at our Educational Institute. And that's why it's so powerful for people all over the world, because people are looking for alternative options for building their family, despite having infertility. And they're taking a more holistic approach in becoming pregnant. And this approach is getting more popular in the United States and abroad. So in Asian cultures, they usually practice traditional Chinese medicine. In China and surrounding regions, TCM plays a significant role in treating fertility issues. Practices like acupuncture, herbal remedies, and dietary adjustments based on the balance of qi, which is our vital energy. Ayurvedic in South Asia, in countries like India and in Asian countries, Ayurvedic is an ancient healing system commonly used. It involves herbal treatments, dietary changes, and lifestyle adjustments to enhance fertility. And it's more about putting the body into homeostasis and allowing it to do what it was supposed to do versus trying to force it to do something. In African cultures, herbal remedies and spiritual practices are really popular. Many African societies use a combination of herbal medicine and spiritual rituals to address infertility. And these practices are often deeply rooted in the cultural beliefs and traditions of that community. And while some traditional practices are prevalent, there's growing accessibility to modern fertility treatments in urban areas such as these. In the Middle East, modern medical treatments with culture sensitivities are really popular. And the Middle East has actually seen a significant increase in the availability of modern fertility treatments. However, these are often adapted to align with the religious and cultural beliefs of that society. And traditional remedies and natural supplements are also commonly used, as well as herbs and mind-body practices. In Latin America, there's a blend of traditional and modern approaches, herbal remedies, modern medical treatments. Also in Latin America, community is really important, along with religious influences, and often religious beliefs overshadow everything in this culture. Each of these cultural approaches reflects a deep integration of historical, spiritual, and social beliefs with fertility and health. As global connectivity increases, there's also a growing exchange of knowledge and practices between these diverse cultures, leading to more integrative and holistic approaches to fertility treatments worldwide. That being said, because of the time difference and the currency differences, you're probably not going to work with all of these countries and cultures. But really think about what works best for you and your business and develop a standard operating procedure around the countries that you work with. I know for the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L.E Society and for myself, there's certain countries that just don't work because of the things that I just said. The time difference is too great. The currency difference is too great. And we make it really clear in our language that we just are unable to service those countries. So let's discuss the stigma associated with infertility. In many cultures, fertility is closely tied to the notions of identity, gender roles, social status, and infertility can even be stigmatized, often leading to social isolation, emotional distress, a sense of failure, particularly for women. And the stigma around infertility can even can cause individuals or couples to not seek the help that they need. And in some societies, discussing reproductive issues is even taboo, which can delay or prevent necessary care. There's also psychological consequences. The stigma can lead to significant psychological impacts, including depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, and the social pressure to conceive, especially in cultures where childbearing is highly valued. This can really exacerbate these feelings. In many cultures around the world, there's a strong preference for natural methods over medical interventions. And that's where you'll have people attracted to you and what you do if you're a holistic and natural practitioner, like with what I do. And this preference can be rooted in religious beliefs, mistrust of modern medicine, or really just adopting a more holistic view of health. I feel the United States is kind of the last place that has really adopted this, whereas many cultures around the world have been practicing natural medicine for years, and they're more open to it. And natural methods from other cultures are sometimes seen as safer. They are more working with the body, and many cultures around the world are more in tune with tuning into your body. And this can, in areas where natural medicine is not as accessible, is a great way for you as a practitioner of natural medicine to service these countries and societies. And understanding the social beliefs and their impact on fertility practices is crucial for you as a healthcare provider, especially if you do plan to practice abroad and virtually. You really want to make sure that you understand the culture and you know the things that these communities are struggling with. And this also will help you when you start to understand the culture beliefs and you know things that these societies are attracted to. You really as you're doing social media and writing in your newsletter and all the ways that you market to your prospective patients and clients, you really want to make sure that you understand the culture and the what the person you're trying to work with will be attracted to. So now let's switch gears and talk about digital platforms. And now more than ever, practicing globally and practicing virtually is kind of the norm. When I started my practice over 8 years ago, when I would tell somebody that I was going to meet with them on Zoom, they would look at me like I was crazy. First, they didn't know what Zoom was. And then they would say, "You don't have an office?" And then they would think I was a scam because I didn't have an office and I just practiced virtually. I practiced with patients over the phone. And a lot of people thought that was weird. But now it's the norm. People love that they can meet with me virtually because I can literally work with anybody on every area of the world has access to me and my services. So this is what I want you to get to if you plan to expand globally. And utilizing technology to bridge this geographical gap is so convenient and so important to understand. Telemedicine and virtual consultations, now more than ever, it's easy to practice virtually because we have platforms like Zoom that make it easy to meet with people all over the globe. Now, you do have to take into consideration the time difference. However, most of my patients and potential patients are accustomed to working with people in all the states, and they're accommodating as far as working with the schedule hours that we have for the clinic. So make sure you are really clear on what your hours are, set a boundary around that, and make sure that you are clear in your advertising and marketing on your open hours and when you can service people. Again, some of the countries that want to work with us just can't because of the time change. Our office hours are in the middle of the night, so that's not going to work for most people. Although I will say I've had people that really want to work with me because of my reputation in this industry. And I've done calls for where it's, 2 or 3 a.m. in their time and it's, 8 or 9 p.m. my time. But it's because I was very clear on these are my scheduled hours and then they would work around that accordingly. And people will begin to search you out, especially if you have a proven protocol. For me, that's people know my protocol and they know it works. And so they search me out. So let's talk about how social media comes into play here when connecting with international clients. You really want to start to build a global brand. You want to create online communities for support and education. Social media is so important to use in your business, especially when you're trying to work with international populations. Getting your message out to people all over the world and educating them on what you do and how it's different will be imperative when expanding your practice globally. So some things to consider is you really want to do targeted outreach. Social media platforms offer many tools for targeted advertising and approaches, and this will allow you as a potential fertility practitioner to reach potential clients in specific geographical locations, age groups, and those who have shown an interest in fertility. And I love to use Instagram. This is probably one of my favorite social media platforms because you can use targeted hashtags, and this will allow you to target specific demographics, diagnosis, cultures, and areas of the world. And you do have to be mindful of cultural sensitivity around your messaging. And it's essential that you craft messages that are curated. You're being sensitive and you're really resonating with beliefs, values, and norms of these different regions. And this might involve creating content in multiple languages. Maybe you're tailoring your messages to reflect certain customs or sensitivities. But just be mindful of this as you create your content. And regular engagement on social media is very important as well. You want to respond to comments, you want to make messages, you want to create interactive content like question and answer sessions, live videos. And this helps to build that know, like, and trust factor. And really, social media platforms want you to interact with their platform. And it also creates a sense of community around these patients and clients that you're a real person and you're interacting with them on social media. And as you start to build a global brand, there's a few things to consider here as well. You want to be consistent with your brand identity. Maintain a consistent brand identity across various social media platforms. This is crucial. This includes a unified visual style. You want the tone of your voice to be the same. You want your messaging all to align. And you want to make sure that you just have a cohesive brand in how you look and how you sound and in what you say. You want to showcase success stories and testimonials. We just did this on my podcast or on this podcast where I did a series of hope with not all, but many of my client testimonials, my patient testimonials that were successful and got pregnant. And so make sure you check that out. That aired in December of 23, and it's called The Stories of Hope. And this is really a powerful building block to building your global brand. It shows people you're a real practitioner, a real person. It shows real life examples, and it really shows how your protocol works. Another thing you can do with social media is to leverage influencers and partnerships. So collaborating with influencers or practitioners in different countries can help you to expand your brand and your brand's reach in that country. This also includes participating in international online forums and webinars related to fertility and reproductive health. You want to create online communities for support and education. So forums and groups and Facebook groups are all very important here. Creating or participating in social media forums and groups dedicated to fertility challenges can help you to build a supportive community. And these platforms can be used to share educational content, answer questions, facilitate discussions, all the things. And you also want to think about regularly educating your audience. So sharing articles and informative graphics and videos, and position your brand as a thought leader in this field. It's very important for that know, like, and trust factor. You also want to get peer support and engagements. And so you want to encourage your members to share their experiences and their support with each other. You can create a sense of belonging, and it helps nurture and nourish the know, like, and trust factor. Hey y'all, it's Dr. Kela here. I hope you are loving this episode as much as I am. We will be back shortly, but first, let's hear a word from our amazing sponsor. Trust me, it's something you'll definitely want to hear, especially if you're passionate about fertility and hormone health. This episode of the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L.E Podcast is sponsored by the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L Society Educational Institute for Coaches, your gateway to a rewarding career in the fertility coaching space. At the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L Society Educational Institute for Coaches, we're all about empowering wellness practitioners and those aspiring to become fertility coaches. Our certification programs are accredited and certified, providing you with all the tools you need to start, build, grow, and scale a profitable and purposeful coaching practice. Curious to learn more? Visit our website at www.hormonepuzzlesociety.com/course-catalog and get a copy of our course catalog. Embark on a fulfilling journey into the art and science of fertility coaching with the Hormone P.U.Z.L Society's Educational Institute for Coaches. Now let's jump back into our episode. So you also want to think about monitoring and adapting your strategies. As you look at your analytics and you get feedback, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to this and doing things that work and not doing things that don't work. You want to adapt to the trends and be responsive to emerging feedback and trends in this industry. You want to really pay attention to the changes in social media algorithms. This is crucial for maintaining your effectiveness. And by effectively leveraging social media, you can not only expand your reach to international clients, but you can really establish a supportive online community. And this approach will facilitate both the growth of your global brand and provide valuable information and education to those struggling with infertility. Now let's switch gears again and talk about legal and ethical considerations for practicing internationally. So you want to make sure you have a solid contract in place. When working with anybody, you want to have a contract in place, but especially if you're working internationally, just because there's different laws that will apply. If you're working with somebody in the States and they sign up for your program and then you have them sign a contract and then they devoid that contract, they don't show up to the calls, maybe they do a chargeback on their credit card. Well, it's really easy to take them to small claims court and sue them or to send them to collections. But when something like that happens when you're working internationally, it's not that simple. Sometimes you are just out the money that you would have made from this contract because you didn't have a contract in place. So you want to make sure that you hire an attorney. If you are one of our students or thinking about being one of our students in the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L.E Society's Educational Institute, we provide you with all your contracts that you need when working with patients and clients over, internationally. But if you're not in our program, I would think about hiring a lawyer. Make sure you have an ironclad contract in place that says what you will do, what you won't do, what you expect from your client and patients. And I know if I were just starting out, and when I was just starting out, this seemed very overwhelming. You can literally spend thousands of dollars putting together your contracts. And that's one of the things in this course that we've helped you with. So if you are considering this program, this is one of the benefits because you get all your contracts done for you in templates, ready to use. And make sure that you update your contracts on a regular basis as your business grows and changes. You also want to think about standard operating procedures. Make sure that you have these SOPs in place for what countries and what areas of the world you plan to service. And this is a personal choice that you need to make as a business owner. Some countries I have decided that I just can't service, as I was saying earlier, because of the currency exchange, the time, just not being able to service that country. And you know what? It's okay. It's your prerogative what you want to do in your business. But make sure that's outlined in your contract in clear language and make sure that it's easy to find for the potential client or patient. The other thing that this really helps you do is as a licensed practitioner, so if you're a doctor or a dietitian or you hold a license, expanding internationally can sometimes be scary because most licenses don't allow you to practice over state lines. But if you're a coach, you can practice over state lines. Now, I would talk to an attorney about this, but for my personal business as a doctor of natural medicine, I make it really clear in the verbiage of my contracts what my scope of practice is. I make it really clear when I talk to patients and clients about what my scope of practice is. But I am operating as an educational health coach when I work with people over state lines. So make sure that you are clear and you know your scope of practice. And really make sure you're not breaking any laws based on what you're doing in practice. You want to make sure that, again, you have clear language in your contracts. As you're becoming a virtual practitioner, if you had a brick and mortar and you're going to virtual, you really want to look at making sure those contracts are ironclad. And just remember, the more people that you can reach, the more people you can help. So as we conclude this episode, as you see, fertility coaching and going international can be really exciting. It can help you expand your reach around the world so that you can help more people and have more of an impact. And it was one of the best things that I did in my business. So thank you for listening today to the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L.E Podcast. I hope that you found this episode helpful. Please see the show notes for more information about our topic for today. And as always, if you have any questions, please visit our website and reach out. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Well, that's a wrap on today's episode about fertility coaching. I hope you found this episode valuable. Don't forget, we focus on this crucial topic in the last episode of every month. Tune in for more guidance on creating a thriving fertility coaching practice. And here's something really exciting. Head on over to the HormonePuzzleSociety.com/education to grab a free copy of the Fertility Coach Roadmap, 3 steps to launch a fertility coaching business. This is the blueprint that helps me scale my own practice to 6 figures in under a year. On the same page, you'll find detailed information about the Hormone Puzzle Society's Educational Institute for Coaches. Thanks for being here with us today. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe and leave us a review. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us bring in more great content to you. Until next time, keep thriving in your journey as a fertility coach. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode.